The lunch hall on Station 17B was filled with voices from all over the galaxy. Tall insectoids clicked their mandibles. Slime-bodied corallines gurgled while sipping nutrient soup. Even the cold-blooded Zentarians shared jokes in their own clicking tongue. And in the middle of it all sat one human Alex Monroe. He looked ordinary. Brown hair, calm eyes, simple uniform. But today, something felt different about him. He unwrapped his lunch slowly, as if he wanted everyone to notice, and they did. It was a sandwich, but not just any sandwich. The meat inside was red, thick, and fresh-looking, almost wild. Curious Zentarian cadet leaned forward and asked human Alex, "What animal is that?" Alex didn't answer, just smiled. That smile sent a strange chill across the room. It wasn't a happy smile. It wasn't kind. It was quiet. ... and somehow dangerous. The cadet laughed nervously and tried to joke. "Is it ... local meat?" Alex still didn't say a word. He took a slow bite, never breaking eye contact. The Zentarian blinked. The others fell silent. After lunch, whispers began to move across the station. "Did you see that smile? What was in that sandwich? Is that how humans show dominance?" No one could explain why the smile felt so wrong, but all agreed it didn't belong in a peaceful academy. Later that evening, the Zentarian cadet who had asked the question didn't report back to his room. At first, officers thought he was late. Then they checked the training hall. Nothing. His communicator turned off. Security drones searched the outer halls until one drone found a strange sight near the airlock, a torn piece of Zentarian fabric, and a soft, half-crushed bread crust lying beside it. No blood, no signs of struggle, just silence. The alien officers opened a missing cadet report. The commanding officer, a wise old thunnery named Commander Geel, was concerned but tried to stay calm. "Maybe he wandered into the wrong section," she said. But others were already looking at Alex differently. The next day, during the lunch break, Alex returned to the same table, same posture, same calm face, and again same sandwich. This time no one spoke to him. No questions, no greetings, just eyes watching him from a distance, unsure and afraid. Even the station AI flagged his file for behavior review, but the system could not find anything wrong. No aggression, no rule breaking, just a human smiling at a sandwich. Still, something felt deeply wrong. Later that night, Commander Geel called a private meeting. "We may be dealing with something we don't understand," she said, looking at the security footage. "Find out who this Alex Monroe really is." As the meeting ended, one of the junior officers whispered to another. He smiled when we asked about the meat, like he wanted us to ask. The other replied with a dry throat, "What if? That's not meat from Earth." Back in his private quarters, Alex sat on his bed, calmly cleaning his hands. On the desk beside him lay a photo faded, old, and torn. It showed a younger version of him, standing beside a classified Earth's military unit. The caption read, "Project. Smile results. Pending." And still, Alex smiled. The alarms didn't sound. There was no scream, no explosion, just silence. The Zentarian cadet was now officially listed as missing, and Station 17B pretended to function as normal. But nothing felt normal. Even the air seemed heavier. No one talked loudly in the halls anymore. Laughter vanished. Everyone gave the same person a wide path to Alex Monroe. He walked the station like nothing had changed. Calm steps, polite nods, eyes always half-focused, like his mind was somewhere far away. And every day at exactly 12 o'clock hours, he sat at the same table in the mess hall, unwrapped the same sandwich, took the same bite, and smiled. But now, the tables around him were empty. Security footage was reviewed again. The Zentarian cadet had last been seen entering corridor D7. Right after that, the hallway cameras went black for exactly 7 minutes. They came back online. The corridor was empty. The power logs showed no failure, no tampering, nothing. It was as if the cameras chose to look away. Commander GL tightened the investigation. 2 officers were assigned to follow Alex. They were told to stay out of sight. Just observe. Within 6 hours, both officers filed nervous reports. "He talks to himself," one said. "Empty walls," said the other. "And we think he sleeps with a weapon under his pillow." That night, Gilles sent a coded message to Earth Command, requesting full background on human Alex Monroe. Urgent. The reply came back faster than expected, only 3 words. "Don't provoke him." Commander Gilles stared at the message, confused and uneasy. She showed it to her second-in-command, who asked, "Is he dangerous?" Gilles didn't answer. Instead, she pulled up Monroe's personnel file again. It was perfectly clean. It's clean. No family listed. No past assignments. Just vague training locations and generic commendations. Almost like someone had built the file to hide something. The next morning, another cadet failed to show up for roll call. This time, it was a young Tharn pilot. Her room was locked from the inside. The emergency override had to be used. What they found was worse than before, an untouched bed lights. Still on, and a single napkin left on the table. On the napkin was a red fingerprint, slightly smeared. This time, the panic could not be hidden. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said Alex was a hunter, and the academy was his jungle. Others believed he wasn't fully human, some experimental predator in a soldier's skin. Few believed he was sending a message. Never assume weakness. Despite everything, Alex continued his routine, smiling, eating, waiting. That afternoon, one of the engineers reviewed food supply logs. Something strange showed up. Private food containers had been shipped to the station without clearance. From Earth, marked biological. Material processed. The logs were signed with a code that didn't match any known division. The engineer went pale and immediately sealed the file. But not before copying it and placing it on Commander Gilles' desk with a note, "You need to see this." That night, Gilles stood outside Alex's quarters, watching the door. She didn't knock. She didn't enter. She just stood there thinking. Inside, Alex sat on the floor reading an old book. He looked up, sensing her presence, and once again, smiled. Something deep in Gilles' instinct screamed that smile was not human. Not friendly, not sane. And yet no law had been broken. Not yet. The message from Earth played again on Commander Gilles' screen, cold and clear. "Don't provoke him." She had read it 20 times already, hoping the meaning would somehow change. It didn't. The station's leadership gathered. In silence, fear clung to their faces. 2 cadets gone, no witnesses, no answers. Just a human with a smile no one could explain. "We need to detain him," one officer finally said, his voice shaking. "At least question him." Another shook their head. "He hasn't done anything, officially." Gilles didn't speak. She just stared at the image frozen on the screen of Alex Monroe, sitting alone, sandwich in hand, eyes staring at the camera like he knew it was watching. Still, they made the call. 4 armed guards were selected, non-lethal weapons only. They were ordered to escort Alex to the command room for a casual interview. The guards moved quickly, quietly, stopping outside his door. The lead guard pressed the chime. The door opened slowly. 10 minutes later, the command room got a signal. The guards were inside. Then, silence. No status update. No transmission. No sound. 5 more minutes passed before the door opened again. Alex walked out, calm as ever, hands clean. No injuries. Behind him, the room was dark. No one followed. The station AI checked in on the guards. Their vitals were stable, but they were unconscious. All 4. No wounds. No signs of struggle. Just deep, forced sleep. Gilles slammed her fist on the console. "What is he?" She whispered. "An alien officer, a data analyst named Varen, took it upon himself to dig deeper. He broke into sealed Earth archives, risking diplomatic violation. What he found wasn't a file. It was a warning label attached to a Black Ops document. Title, Project Smile. Status, Restricted. Purpose, Field Testing Human Psychological Warfare. Notes. Subject trained to induce fear using non-violent methods. Smiles during pressure events. Trigger unknown." Varen copied the document and ran straight to Gilles. "He's not a soldier," he said breathlessly. "He's the experiment." Jill stared at the report in disbelief. "He's trained." "To break minds?" Varen nodded slowly. "He doesn't kill with weapons. He kills with doubt." He smiles, and you start questioning everything. Suddenly, lights flickered across the station. The AI reported system instability. Power rerouted to Sector 12, the food storage wing. Strange, no one had requested access. Jill pulled up the logs. Someone had installed a meat processing unit in storage room 7. She froze. "Who authorized this?" she asked. "No one." The camera feed showed the storage room door closing. Before it did, a figure walked inside Alex. In his hands, another sandwich. Jill gave a quiet order. "No one enters that room. I want the food tested. All of it." Varen nodded, already sending samples to Galactic biolabs. Elsewhere, Alex sat. Alone once again in the mess hall. He watched the empty seats. No one dared eat near him now. He bit into his sandwich slowly, his eyes scanning the room, looking for anyone brave enough to ask him another question. No one spoke, until one brave cadet whispered to another, "What if he wants us to be afraid?" Alex looked up. He had heard the whisper from across the hall, and he smiled. The lab results came back with a flashing red warning across the top. "Sample contains non-cataloged DNA. Origin: humanoid. Highly processed. Possible sentient remains." Commander Gilles dropped the tablet as if it had burned her hand. Standing beside her, couldn't even speak. The silence between them said everything. The meat in Alex Monroe's sandwich wasn't synthetic. It wasn't animal. It was something or someone real. "This has gone too far," Gilles said, her voice barely a whisper. "We have to shut him down." "But how do you shut down something you don't understand?" They dispatched 2 engineers to inspect storage room 7, the strange chamber where the private meat processing unit had appeared. The door wouldn't open. Manual override failed. Even plasma cutters sparked out. The AI reported an unauthorized internal security lock. Alex's lock. That room somehow now belonged to him. "Seal off the entire wing," GL ordered. "I want drones watching every hallway he walks through," but the order came too late. Alex wasn't in the room anymore. He was already walking down the hall, alone, calm, a data pad in his hand. No weapons, no armor, just him and that same unreadable smile. He passed by 2 alien cadets, both of whom froze in place. He didn't look at them. He didn't need to. His presence alone made their skin crawl. Varen followed from a distance, hidden behind a corner. He watched as Alex entered the empty training hall. No one else dared use it now. Alex placed his datapad on the floor and tapped a command. The screen lit up an old Earth military recording. Fuzzy, black and white. A battlefield. Human soldiers not firing weapons, but standing still, laughing, smiling. The enemy line alien troops screamed and fled before a shot was even fired. Varen hit record. On his scanner, "He's showing them this," he whispered. "This is his weapon." Back in the command room, Jell watched in disbelief as more logs surfaced. Somehow Monroe had been accessing the station's systems, not breaking them, reprogramming them. Security cameras that looked away at key times, door locks that failed at just the right moment, drones redirected during patrols, all without detection. "He's not just trained," she whispered. "He's conditioned. This station is his lab." At that moment, another message pinged from Earth's command. Jell opened it with shaking fingers. "Do not detain. Do not engage. Subject is classified as adaptive psychological hazard. Observe only. Do not interfere." "What are they doing?" Varen asked. "He's experimenting on us." "No," Gilles replied. "We're the ones being watched." Suddenly, the lights flickered again. This time, a strange sound played over the station speakers, a soft, repeating tick. 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 Everyone froze. No alarms, no alerts, just ticking. And then, one by one, the cafeteria doors opened. Each table now had something placed neatly in the center. Napkin, a sandwich. 6 sandwiches. 6 different kinds of meat. The same type of sandwich Alex always ate. Jell stood slowly. He's not hiding anymore. Varen's voice was barely audible. Commander, ... What is he trying to say? Jell stared at the sandwich nearest to her through the monitor. Her mouth went dry. He's daring us to try it. And on the camera feed, Alex turned to look directly into the lens and smiled. No one touched the sandwiches. They just sat there, steaming slightly, each one placed in perfect silence, in the exact center of each table. Every alien aboard Station 17B knew what they might contain. Still, some officers argued it could be a bluff, psychological game. Maybe Monroe hadn't hurt anyone at all. Maybe the missing cadets were hidden somewhere alive. Maybe this was all an elaborate human test. But that hope faded quickly, because another cadet disappeared that very night. This time, it wasn't silent. A scream echoed through the maintenance level. When security arrived, they found nothing. No body. No signs of a fight. Just a dropped flashlight, flickering wildly, and a set of muddy footprints leading to a closed service hatch. The hatch was locked from the inside. It took them 5 hours to get it open. It was empty. Hatch. And above the hatch, scratched into the wall, were 2 words in Old Earth English. Still hungry. Commander Gia lost control of the station that day. Officers refused to patrol alone. Drones were pulled back to core areas. Alien cadets requested evacuation shuttles, but no ships were authorized to. DORF Command had placed the entire station under level black containment. No one in, no one out. Alex Monroe kept walking the halls. No one stopped him. No one spoke. He passed by groups of armed guards without a glance. They all looked away. Some swore they heard whispering when he walked by. Others reported seeing flickers in the corner of their vision, like their minds were reacting before their eyes could. The tension became unbearable. Then Alex changed his behavior. He started leaving things. A folded napkin on a console, half-eaten sandwich on a captain's chair, a slice of bread on a pillow. Each one left in complete silence. Each one felt like a message no one could read, but everyone understood. I see you. You're next. Finally, one brave Aliena communications cadet named Lear snapped. He confronted Alex in the main corridor, shouting, "Why are you doing this? You want from us? What is all this?" Everyone stopped. Alex turned slowly, sandwich in hand, mid-bite. He chewed, swallowed, and looked at Lear with those unreadable human eyes. Then he said it. "I'm proving a point." Lear blinked. "What point?" Alex stepped closer. "You all said humans hated killing. How we were soft, weak, peace-loving." He gestured around with his sandwich. "You invited us here to learn, but you didn't learn anything. You assumed too much." Lear took a step back. "We didn't mean, but you did," Alex interrupted. "You wanted a harmless human in your academy, a safe one. You got me instead." Lear's voice dropped. "You're a monster." Alex leaned in. "I'm a mirror," and then he walked away. The hallway stayed frozen. No one followed him. No one moved. For the first time in centuries, an entire multi-species station stood completely still, not from violence, but from fear. Back in the command room, Jill watched it all unfold on the main screen. Her hands trembled. She turned to Viren, who was deathly pale. "We thought peace was strength," she whispered. "But he sees peace as a weapon." Viren looked at her. "He's not killing to win. He's killing to teach." Then the station AI pinged an alert. A new message had just been sent to the Galactic network. From Alex Monroe, it was a video. One by one, all screens on the station turned on. The cafeteria, the dorms, the training halls, even private quarters. And there, in full view, was Alex. Sitting alone, calm, one hand resting on a table, the other holding a fresh sandwich. He looked directly into the camera and smiled. Again. The smile on the screen didn't fade. Alex sat perfectly still, staring into every camera across the station. Behind him was silence. No background noise. No message. Just him. And the sandwich? Every alien on Station 17B watched from wherever. They were hiding in locked quarters, dimmed labs, and shielded cargo holds. Some couldn't look away. Others turned from the screen, shaking, whispering prayers in languages long forgotten. The video lasted only 30 seconds, and then the screen went. Black silence returned. But a moment later, a single line of text appeared on every terminal in every room. Don't ever make a human prove a point. Commander Shell stood in the command room, eyes wide. Aaron sat slumped in a chair, drained and pale. No one spoke. No one could. They all felt that the point had already been proven. 3 minutes later, the lights across the station dimmed. Emergency systems came online, the AI announced. Containment breach detected. All sectors entering lockdown. What breach? Shell asked, spinning to the terminal. We're already sealed. The AI hesitated, then responded. Alex Monroe is no longer trackable. His location is unknown. No doors had opened. Systems had failed. He was just gone. Security drones searched every hall. No trace, no heat signature, no sign of life. Not even the scent of the meat sandwiches remained, as if he had never been there. And yet, the fear lingered. A full day passed without a single word from Alex. No one disappeared, no sandwiches appeared. But the silence was worse than the chaos. It wasn't over. It was waiting. Then the final message arrived. Not from the station. From Alex? It came through an encrypted military relay, one that only Earth's elite forces used. It was short. No video, just text. Proof of concept, complete. Target response, confirmed. Awaiting next assignment. Jail's heart dropped. It hadn't been revenge, or anger, or madness. It had been a test, and they had all failed across the galaxy. News of Station 17B's silence spread fast. Governments demanded answers. Species who once laughed at humans behind closed doors now whispered their names with fear. Alien ambassador quietly ordered their people to avoid provoking humans. Cultural exchanges were canceled. Embassies were closed, and on Earth, a new file was quietly opened. Project Smile status, success, threat assessment, psychological apex confirmed deployment phase, active in the shadows of the Terran Directorate. Other Smilers were being prepped, trained, polished. Not to fight, not to conquer, but to walk into alien worlds and let their presence speak louder than any army. A napkin, a sandwich, smile. That was enough. As for Alex Monroe, no one ever saw him again. Some said he returned to Earth. Others believed he was placed aboard another station, maybe even another galaxy. Wherever he went, one thing was certain: no species would ever again mistake humanity's quiet nature for weakness. And whenever someone in any world asked, "Aren't humans peaceful?" someone nearby would always answer, "Yes." Until they smile. The station was never reopened. Months passed, but Station 17B remained silent, sealed, and untouched like a monument to a lesson that echoed across star systems. No rescue ships were sent. No investigation teams arrived. It's not because they couldn't, but because no one dared. Everyone had heard the story. They had seen the leaked footage. The calm man with the sandwich, the smile that didn't blink, the disappearances. And the message burned into every command center across the stars: don't ever make a human prove a point. Galactic Council meetings suddenly included Earth with more respect. Treaties were rewritten. Peace offerings were delivered. Some species even began adopting human food customs out of admiration, they claimed. But deep down, it was fear. It's not averse weapons, not even of war. It's fear of what Earth was willing to unleash to make a point. Quiet humans. Smiling humans. The ones who didn't raise their voice. The ones who never argued. The ones who answered mockery with politeness. Those were now watched more closely than any general. In the shadows, rumors spread stories of more Smilers walking freely among alien societies. One on a luxury cruiser who never slept. One on a research moon where 3 researchers simply vanished. Another spotted in a diplomatic hall, politely declining food, while every alien nearby lost their appetite. The Terran Directorate denied everything. Officially, Project Smile never existed. But off the record, things were different. In a dark room deep beneath Earth's surface, 6 chairs stood around a black table. In each chair sat someone calm, unarmed, smiling. A general entered, saluted, and said only one word: deployment. No one spoke. One of them, a woman with silver hair, stood and nodded. Target. The general slid a file across the table. The folder had no name, just a Symbolan alien crest, known for suppressing Earth colonies. The woman opened the file, read, closed it, then smiled. I'll bring a sandwich. Meanwhile, light years away, Commander Jill sat alone on a refugee station, far from the galaxy's core. She had resigned quietly, taken an anonymous post, in a forgotten system, but the fear hadn't left her. Every day she checked the mess hall before eating. Every night she locked her door, and every time she saw a human smile, her hand trembled. Varen had gone silent. No one knew where he was now. Some believed he'd joined Earth's black operations. Others thought he'd gone mad trying to understand how a smile could unmake a station. But one thing was certain: the galaxy had changed. Not through war, not through invasion, but because one man bit into a sandwich and smiled. Galaxy finally understood. Humans didn't hate killing. They simply didn't need to do it, to remind you that they could.